Opening our living room blinds this morning, I saw a mini disaster outside. Yet my wife Hisami just saw love. So what's happening? So in our balcony outside, just outside the office where Hisami works, we've got a beautiful white tiles and some nice trees, and we can see the sky and a little statue. And there's this little, basically, oasis that we call Allen Park or Allen Cohen. And it just feels really good during the day when we're working to look out there and see it, and it's peaceful and feels like we're somewhere in nature rather than right in the middle of Tokyo, which we are. And we've been noticing that the tiles are starting to buckle a little bit. One of the planters is getting wobbly. And a few days ago, one of the planters actually fell over a tree and was like up against the window. And I realized, okay, I need to go do a little maintenance out here. And so I went out and I intended to just push the planter back, but I realized, the roots were growing underneath. And so I, pulled up all the tile, pushed everything aside, cleaned up all the roots that were growing under the tile and kind of, getting into the foundation and everything. And I realized I needed to kind of leave it this way so things could dry out. And then I would go and put the tiles back, push it back, make it look nice again. But today, when I looked outside, all I saw was an unfinished project. So I saw lack out there, and I saw the ugly black bottom of the tiles where I'd usually see the pretty white tops of the tiles, and I saw things in disarray, and the dirty part where I'd pulled up and exposed the, what's below the tiles. And so I saw this mini disaster. And I felt a little guilty because I know that Hisami works here every day and looks out at the balcony and feels inspired and relaxed when she sees the beautiful balcony there. So when I went in and talked to Hisami, I said, sorry about the disaster out on the balcony. I'll get that cleaned up another day or two. Things look like they're dried out right now. And Hisami looked at me with this kind of curious expression on her face like she often does, and she said, I never saw a disaster out there. I just saw love. I saw that you're healing the balcony and that you're taking care of the house, and that there was a problem and that you're helping it, and you're putting your attention and care and love in to put things back into a state where they're beautiful and sustainable. And I saw love. And I was really surprised. I thought, just one more example of how the material mind perspective focuses on lack and maybe guilt. What I saw was things aren't as good as they could be, and I feel a little bit guilty that I haven't put them back in their best possible way. Where Hisami is completely different perspective. She saw the exact same scene, things are in disarray and not as beautiful as normal, but all she saw was the loving intention that I had behind putting care into our balcony and putting things back into a beautiful state. So she sees that big picture with no judgment and with love. And this is why we say in our spirit mind training to just ask yourself when you're feeling guilty or you're feeling something is out of place, to ask yourself, which mind is this? Because that simple question, had I asked myself in that moment, which mind is this? I would have realized, this is just my material mind that's seeing lack and scarcity. And probably at that moment, I would have had my own spirit mind inside of, there's another perspective. There's a perspective of love and fullness, like the one that Hisami shared. And seeing the world from this spirit mind perspective of love and wholeness feels so good. Even when Hisami shared it with me this morning, that her perspective was different. She didn't see a disaster. Right away, I felt good. Her perspective just permeated me, and I could see things from that state of love as well. And of course, I'll go out and fix the balcony too.